There are 8 full-time firefighters at the Metropolis Fire Department. Bobby Williams is one of them. He says staffing issues are making a difficult job even harder.
It's been pretty difficult trying to provide the services with less staffing. You know, and with the unfortunate passing of Captain Chad Parker, at this time, they're not looking to replace him.
Williams says at some points there aren't enough people here at the Metropolis Fire Department to respond to certain calls. And they need to reach out to nearby fire departments like Paducah's to get that help. Mayor Billy McDaniel says the city's declining revenue means all departments, including public safety, will take a hit.
Probably the direction we're going to go to is everybody's going to have to tighten their belts a little bit and do the best we can with our budget.
And they won't be replacing Captain Parker's opening.
We just hired one to fulfill a retirement. So as we speak right today, ask the Chief Massey and the committee with the recommendation coming out of the Police and Fire Committee that we don't replace that, and I agree with that.
Williams and other firefighters are concerned it may not be enough for the public.
When they call 911, they expect a fire truck to show up. You know, they expect police officers to show up or ambulances, anything. And there's some times where we don't because we can't.
Warm weather means fishermen in our area are getting out on the water. Pete Thomason is one of many bass fishers who sees the effect Asian carp have.
There's not as many fish in the lake now as there ever used to be. And some of that's due to the Asian carp.
The new bioacoustic fish fence could stop the carp from getting into the area. Construction for the fence is going on now at the dam. Alan Brown with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service says the lock is used constantly.
This particular lock operates almost 6,000 times a year, so there's lots of opportunities for Asian carp to move from the river into Lake Barkley and on upstream.
One of the only spots for the carp to get through is the lock in the dam, which actually opens up for commercial and recreational boats.
Brown says commercial fishermen in the area work constantly to try to remove the invasive fish. The new fence will have speakers and lights underwater to scare the carp away from the dam. Thomason is excited to see the fence put in.
Pleasure boats can get there and skiers can get out there and fishermen can get out there and not have anything jumping all over hitting you and injury people.
Brown says after the fence is installed, they will monitor it for 3 years to see the effects it has on the Asian carp. In Grand Rivers, Kentucky, Jack Kane, WPSD, Local 6. A new way to use hemp grown in our region. Hempwood is creating an alternative to oak wood. Founder and CEO Greg Wilson says they plan on adding jobs throughout the year, and it could help ease the loss of Briggs & Stratton.
We're 3 miles east from Briggs & Stratton, so we're adding 2 people per month for the rest of the year, and then we'll reassess what we need to do based on our production output.
Wilson and Congressman James Comer cut the ribbon for the new factory today. Then they demonstrated how the logs are made.
They start off with the stalks of used hemp plants, and then they put them in the press here behind me. That helps them create these huge logs, which will eventually help them create boards just like this.
Wilson says the boards made of hemp wood can be used for woodworking products and flooring, and it can be put to use quicker than normal wood.
We're taking something that grows in 6 months, and we're able to replicate or outperform a tropical hardwood that grows in 200 years.
Hempwood is partnering with Murray State University to keep as much of the work in our region as possible to benefit local hemp farmers and Murray State students.
From internships to future jobs, teaching and learning from an agricultural standpoint, business standpoint, chemistry standpoint, and I could go on and on. So there's a lot of different components of the university assisting Hempwood.
In Murray, Kentucky, Jack Kane, WPSD, Local 6. The proposed monthly fee would have been $6.13 for you, and would have been even more expensive for businesses.
The impact it was going to have on some of our larger industrial businesses, as well as some of our larger retail operations, that type of thing, because it was based upon the square footage of the facilities.
The old fee would have generated $2.7 million every year. Paducah City Manager Jim Arndt says the city is considering increasing the insurance premium tax as a way for funding instead.
If we did the insurance premium tax, we'd be looking at 1%. That's the discussions we've been having internally. No decision's been made, nothing's been talked about formally, just internal kind of conversations about this off and on, for the last several months. That would generate $700,000.
He says the sinkhole at Kentucky Oaks Mall is an example of why these systems need checked.
Arndt says improper drainage can do more than just damage city property. It can also cause cause public safety issues, like here where water completely covers the sidewalk.
Public safety is why we're here, making sure that the streets are safe to travel on, making sure that the sidewalks are safe to travel on, that the storm sewers don't collapse and there's a big hole in the middle of the road or sidewalk.
While this new idea would not generate as much money, Arndt says it's important to consider options to help fix the problem. In Paducah, Jack Kane, WPSD Local 6.
All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no. I'm a no.
All 3 county commissioners were in favor of the decision, with only Clymer opposing. We got a copy of an email from Commissioner Bill Bartleman to GPED Board Chair Glenn Anderson and GPED President Bruce Wilcox. It reads in part, "The action is not a reflection of any negative feelings or lack of confidence in either of you or the restructured board. It is a positive action to unify and enhance economic development and job creation in Western Kentucky." Bartleman says this request is based off of past situations with GPED.
Over the history, there's been concerns about transparency and some of the decisions that have been made, and again, it's the job of the elected officials to promote economic development and create jobs, and we want to make sure that we're at the table and that we can express our views and hear what's going on for accountability.
The quarterly payment being withheld from Greater Paducah Economic Development by the county is $62,500, and they won't be getting that money until they make a decision on this proposed agreement.
GPED Board Chair Glenn Anderson doesn't think missing that payment will impact them and doesn't agree with putting another county leader on the GPED board.
I think it's a misunderstanding of their role, I think, quite honestly. And so that's not meant to be harsh, but it's meant to say that's really not the best working model. To micromanage how economic development is done actually defeats the ability to do economic development.
Anderson says the GPED board is trying to set up a meeting next week to discuss the changes to the proposed agreement. In Paducah, Jack Kane, WPSD Local 6. Ralph Priddy is a U.S. Army veteran. He's reaching out to families of veterans laid to rest at Peaceful Valley Cemetery in Graves County to help replace their headstones.
It hurt to see my fallen brothers in the condition that they're in because, you know, we did our job. They did their job. They made our country a better place for their loved ones.
Priddy says as he was walking around the cemetery cleaning up debris, he saw several headstones of veterans that looked a lot like this, sinking into the ground and in disrepair. That's when he knew he needed to do something.
Priddy has a list of the headstones at Peaceful Valley that need to be replaced.
Right now, we have 25 veterans right here in this cemetery.
Priddy wants to get the word out to the veterans' families and work with them through the replacement process to keep their relatives' legacy alive.
Family members don't even know that they can get this done free of charge. It won't cost them nothing. The VA, the Veteran Administration, they will replace this, and we have people that will come in there and reset their headstone if they know about it.
His goal is to have the headstones at Peaceful Valley Cemetery replaced by Veterans Day. In Graves County, Kentucky, Jack Kane, WPSD Local 6.